I want to just, I would like to quickly thumb through all the 4-star sets and just see which ones would make for good 5 stars. So we already talked about Sojourners. It kind of already has one. You can see in the chat already talked about it. The charge attack, crit rate, and the attack bonus. Like, this is just a... Marachase covers this, right? I mean, granted, Marachase is a bit more niche, because you have to work harder for it, where this is just, you get it. But this is also only charged attack crit rate. It's too specific. Sorry, my cat is just sitting next to me and requires pets. Tiny Miracle. Elemental Resistance is interesting. Like, it's damage reduction. 9 times out of 10, which is pretty good. And elemental damage increase corresponding element resistance. Increases elemental damage. Incoming elemental damage increases corresponding elemental resistance. Yeah, just for being really tanky. No one would ever use this. Also, the issue is that you can just do 4-piece elemental resonance and you get almost the same 2-piece effect. Yeah, exactly. It's like, this is outclassed. Zerkers. So 2-piece crit rate, I think, would see a lot of usage on some characters. I think a lot of people would be kind of excited to run a piece like this on, like, hybrid-y characters. And when HP is below 70%, crit rate is increased by an extra... Actually, you know what? I think that if the 2-piece... If this exists as a 5-star set, the 2-piece would see a little bit of use and experimentation for certain characters. But the 4-piece would never be used, because it's Marachase. It's literally just Marachase again. Yeah, because this stuff is all early game, right? But then we're getting into the big... We're about to get into the big hitters, though. Berserker would be interesting because the 2-piece is good and the 4-piece is more reliable than Marachase. I don't think that's true, because your HP has to be below a certain amount, versus Marachase, which you have to fluctuate your HP. You just have to fluctuate, which is a little easier to do. Because if you accidentally heal off the 70%, above 70%, or you just don't take damage, you have a problem. Right? You'd have to buff this. You'd have to buff these 3 or change them for them to make sense in the game. But now we got like a couple of the big hitters, so instructors. So 80 EM 2-piece already sees use case, people still run that. But that 4-piece bonus, triggering an elemental reaction increases everyone's EM by 120. That's amazing. Instructors is already a good set. This getting a 5-star would be immaculate. This would make a lot of people happy, I think. And it would see a lot of use. It would probably be pretty meta. It would probably be like a discussion on almost, not every team, but I think a lot of teams for like high-end play would be like, okay, where do we fit our instructors? Where do we fit our 120 EM buff? For a lot of, to get an EM buff like this usually costs like a C6. It is borderline broken. It's a lot of EM. It needs a 5-star. I don't know, man. I'd like to see this have a 5-star. If it had a 5-star, it would see a lot of play. Exiles is the other big hitter. 20% ER is, again, already good. And then the regenerating your whole party. It's literally... It's a Fav weapon in addition to a Fav weapon. Like, it's a Fav weapon that stacks with a Fav weapon. If this had a 5-star set, again, it would be seeing a lot of use case. I don't think it would be the same amount of use case. Like, you wouldn't be like, okay, where do I fit in my instructors on every team? You'd be like, there'd be a lot of characters, though, who would love this set as a 5-star. Like, there's characters that I use right now that use this thing, like Goro, for example. A 5-star version of this for my Goro would be really nice. And then we get into some of the weirder ones, right? For each different element present in your own party, the wearer's elemental resistance increased by 30%. Again, another defensive one. The 30% defense, kind of nice. For some defense characters. Like, if we were to compare that with... does that line up with the other big defense set? I have to scroll way down to find it. Hold on, there it is. It's the same, yeah. So having, again, another option for a 2-piece defense buff for certain defense scalers, you're probably not turning your nose up to it, but it's not great. And the 4-piece, again, it's whatever. I don't think this is getting used if it had a 5-star. This increases damage by 30% against opponents with more than 50% health. So a reverse execute. I think this sees some use. Also, Yunjin could run 2-piece of just defense. Yeah, the double defense lovers would probably get a kick out of that. We really need a 5-star version of the Elemental Circlets. We're not there yet, but we're going to talk about them. Feels kind of jank. So I feel like there's a use case for this. I'll tell you exactly what the use case for this set is and where it would see use. Damage per screenshot. This is a damage per screenshot set. If you were to put a 5-star version of this set into the game, it would be strictly used for damage per screenshots. It would be used for one-shots. Because 50% more damage, or 30% more damage, period, with no restrictions, no setup required, no restrictions, no weirdness. It's just, do they have high health? Blow them up. So I think there would be an argument to be made for this on damage per screenshot setups. I think you'd be trying to use this to get cheesy one-shots. But that's probably about it. Just for cheesy one-shots. It's a cute setup if this had a 5-star, but it wouldn't be, like, practical. The next one, Martial Artist. Normal and charged attack damage up. So we've seen historically these kind of effects, quite good. And after using an elemental skill, increases normal attack and charge attack damage by 25%. This would see use. People would use this. I think there's some characters who would, like, really like this. D-Luke. I think D-Luke would love this thing. Like, D-Luke would have really good uptime on it and have really good damage. That's a Hazo set. Hazo's normal and charge attacks aren't that good. You're really looking for something that gives him that skill damage up, but it wouldn't hurt. The issue is that Burning Set exists, and most one-tap teams are Vapor Melt. Can afford to throw on a Dendro in as a buffer. Sure. Yeah, I got you, but like again, it's just for ease of access. Okay, guys, if my account is only fire, can I do the test runs? Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course you can, because they're not your characters. You're just borrowing them for a second so you can get some Primo Gems. It's in the interest of getting more fire characters. But yeah, this set, genuinely interesting. So it's 40% normal and charge attack bonus. And the characters who like normal and charge attack bonus can probably maintain this really well. I think this would see some use. It'd be fringe, but I think it would be used as a 5-star. This on Mulaney, yeah, there's a good use case right there. I think that would give her a really high ceiling potentially. Who else would? Like I said, D-Luke would really like this probably. Ayato would love this. This would be an immaculate Ayato piece, right? Linny and Venti, Linny, yes, or maybe not Linny actually, because Linny. This is better for a character who's going to open with their skill, where Linny likes to close with his skill, right? But yeah, this would be a fun set. I think this would be cool to have a 5-star version of it. Gamblers. Increases elemental skill damage. Now, you want to talk about Hazo sets? That's a Hazo set. I'm calling out sick on Friday, so 3-day weekend. Hey, okay, you know what? You deserve the break, right? Not bad. Hope you're feeling... if you were actually sick, I hope you're feeling better. If you weren't actually sick, I hope you got turned. This seems silly and I love it. Yeah. Yeah, no, this is a Hazo set. Alright. Elemental skill damage up by 20%, which is good. And defeating an opponent has a 100% chance to remove your elemental skill cooldown every 15 seconds. You go punch. Punch. You double tap. This enables double taps. I think, yeah, there's a couple of skill-oriented characters who I think would get a kick out of this. This would see some use. This would see some use. I don't know if it would be, like, super widespread, but I would definitely see some characters messing around with this. I think this could be really fun as a 5-star. Also, the 2-piece is good. Yeah, no, seriously. Just running a 2-piece of this. Also, 2-piece is good. I mean, yeah, I already sometimes run 2-piece Golden Troop. I could see running a... for those... You know what? Hear me out on this. There are some skill-oriented characters who like being on field. So, because they are stuck on field for long periods of time, Golden Troop doesn't sit right with them a lot of the time. So, running this plus a 2-piece Golden Troop could be a fun way of sort of being like Golden Troop Light, in a sense. If you wanted to do that route as well. And also, it feels appropriate, right? We're playing a gacha game, right? There should be a 5-star gambler set. I don't think there's much else to say. This would just be nice. God, there's so many characters I'd throw that on. Scholars. Now, if I remember right, Scholars is quite good as well. Energy, again, another energy recharge piece. Very good. And gaining elemental particles or orbs gives 3 energy to all party members who have a bow or a catalyst equipped. So obviously very, very niche and specific, but we've seen niche-specific sets work like this. Gladiator and Wanderer's Troop immediately come to mind. Yeah, it is very specific, but if you are doing the specific thing that this set calls for, you're probably not upset about it. I think it would see some fringe use. Also, the main thing that would help with 5 stars is that the effect requires the unit to be on field. So having higher stats on your on-fielder is nice. Yes, no, absolutely. And any other damage that you can get, right? Like, any increase to your stats feels good. So if that were a 5-star Gambler's Manhazo, it would be extra amazing. I'd think so. Also, welcome home, Freakification. Welcome to the stream. And so yeah, this would see very fringe use, but it would see use, I think. And then these ones. These would see some use, I think. As a 5-star piece, I think as an off piece, I think people would really like to have these sometimes. Because it's just an easy access, extra little teeny weeny buff. And if they had the good stats to compensate to go along with it, I think people would want to use them. Right? Like, I think in an ideal world, like, the perfect build of a character, if this existed in a 5-star, would be one of these circlets. I think you'd run one of them, depending on what you're up against. You'd probably have... The perfect builds would be off-piece circlet with this on it. Would it be because it increases your damage? Not necessarily, but being affected by an element for a little less can be helpful. You know, it would see use. They would be used, right? These are the perfect off-piece, theoretically. I wish there was more of these. I wish there was more one-piece set bonuses to give you, like, incentive to hunt for off-pieces. But there's nothing like... These are the only ones that exist. Also, I could see especially Pyro Electro ones used with Lava Walkers and Thunder Soother. Yeah, I could see stuff like that. But yeah, these would all see use in some capacity. But like I said, they're meant to be off pieces. So if they had a 5-star variant, people would use them. No doubt. People would absolutely use these. Just because they feel nice to have an extra little thing. With a small upside. I'm just worried that people will go absolutely nuts if they exist and will drive people insane. Oh, absolutely. This would tear people apart. People would lose their minds over this, and it would not be a good thing, necessarily. But it would be fun to watch the absolute mental deconstruction of the people. But, that's neither here nor there. I think if these existed as a 5-star, they'd just be a nice bonus to have if you can get them. But the min-maxers would absolutely try farming these, and I feel bad for them. Honestly. I have resubbed for 3 months. Oh, thank you! I did not get the notification, but I appreciate it. Thank you so much. So, yeah. I think that's... I would say, like, maybe, like, half these sets see some use. And then the other half are kind of like, meh, they're kind of replaced by Marshase. And just for funsies, the 1-star sets. Max HP by 1,000, no. Opening a chest regenerates health, no one wants that. Defense by 100, picking up more restores HP, no one wants that. And incoming healing and elemental burst restores HP. No one wants that. So, yeah, we're not these. These wouldn't be interesting. It would be funny though. It's the most limited heal in the game. So anyway, that's that. These artifacts are the 4-star artifact lineup. They're good, and it's so many of them I'd love to see as a 5-star. But maybe one day they'll upgrade some of these, or at least add an artifact set that's similar enough to them. I mean, we kind of have, right? Like, if you look at Berserkers and then think of Marechaussee, they're basically the same set, right? Only Marechaussee is just a little better. Right? Just a smidge better. Because it also comes with the extra damage for normal and charge attacks. But yeah. Maybe one day. Maybe one day.